is at E3, and they didn't have a fucking press conference. People were like, oh, why don't they have a press conference? That's fucking balls. Oh, they're gonna suck so bad. Meanwhile, they came in and tore shit the fuck up. I'm talking like, they rolled in, they were like, games. And that's all it was games out the fucking ass. AAA games, little fucking niche games, franchises we already knew about, franchises that are just getting started, games that we already knew about, but they're adding a whole bunch of new stuff and live demonstrations of said games that are actually coming out this year, a whole bunch of new games that are coming out next year. It was games everywhere, and that's what made me happy, because that's all I want. I got a fucking Nintendo Wii U, so just give me games, and they did. We're getting fucking things like Xenoblade Chronicles, we're getting things like Super Smash Bros., we're getting things like Mario Party 10. Cannot fucking believe it's been 10 Mario Parties. I'm like, dude, that's fucking nuts. We're getting Bayonetta 2, which is getting bundled with Bayonetta 1. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. I'll go all those fucking titties everywhere on my Nintendo system. I like that kind of stuff, and it's just so much Nintendo goodness. It makes me happy. I mean, I'm gonna be able to make fucking Super Mario Brothers stages. You know how fucking badass that is? Phoenix Wright and fucking Professor Layton are gonna be getting together and just doing their fucking thing on the 3DS. I'm like, that's awesome. They decided that they were like, fuck you, Skylanders, we can do that too. And we're gonna make this shit extra addictive because it's gonna be like Pokemon and stuff. And I'm like, what? Amiibos and stuff? I'm like, so anyway, it's Nintendo, it's E3, might as well go and get into all this shit right now. The Legend of Zelda was finally unveiled. Everybody was happier than shit. I mean, we had the tech demo of Legend of Zelda for Nintendo Wii U, and people were like foaming at the mouth and going to cardiac arrest just seeing something as amazing as that, and just wanting to have it in their hands like right fucking now. So we got to see this, and it didn't actually look anything like the tech demo, but it looked amazing as fuck on every single level. Now granted, this actually came with some mixed reviews from people, namely because of the art style that they ended up going with, because this is kind of like, you know, the cell shading type thing. And this takes me back to the entire thing of when Wind Waker ended up getting unveiled, and everybody complained about that, even though aesthetically that game has held up better than most games have over the course of how many years now that's actually passed. I have to go and give them a big old fucking like applause, considering the fact that looking at this game, it was just beautiful. That's the only way to really look at it. This looked like a real life animation just breathing and living in front of you. They're talking about how this is going to be one gigantic open world, and it's going to be very non-linear in style, so it doesn't seem like there's going to be as big of an emphasis on having to go from point A to point B, because you need the item from point A to even access the area of point B. And something like that I think is kind of a good approach for the Legend of Zelda series. And on the Hey Bit podcast, I was actually talking about with Razor Fist and Yell Chaos that I think it'd be kind of cool if they adopted even more traditional RPG aspects in it, so much that they decide that they're going to have, since Link himself doesn't actually speak, and I'm fine with that. I've actually come to grips with the fact that he's a silent protagonist, and absolutely fine. I'd actually like it if they gave it so that you had a bunch of different options in the dialogue sequences that you can go and respond with to go and change the course of how the story is going to go and evolve, and your interactions with different characters and stuff like that. And it's just one of those things out there. But back to the actual trailer that they showed off. Link is just sitting there chilling out, relaxing, maxing out, looking all cool and shit, and then Fresh Prince of Bel-Air just fucking goes running by. Everybody's, what the hell is going on? But then all of a sudden this big fucking Octorok comes out and it's just like tearing up fucking everything. I mean, I'm talking like anything that went through, like the woods are being fucking thrown around, the fucking ground's being lifted up. And, you know, despite the fact that he's unearthing the entire fucking land, all of a sudden then they get into like this one big battle and area. He fucking goes and messes up the entire bridge. Link gets cut off. And then all of a sudden he pulls out this badass bow and arrow and just starts going to work. And I was just like, the entire time I'm watching, I'm like, and I felt like a little kid. I was excited just watching. So I'm like, that looks so fucking amazing. And again, it's one of those things like, it looked awesome. It looked like a badass set piece. I'm like, I want to be doing that. I want my controller in my hand. Like, I want to be the one who's pressing all the fucking action buttons and making all this shit happen. But, you know, all I could do is watch it. Now, The only thing is, they don't have a set release date for this. It's going to be sometime in 2015. So we got some time to wait. But I'm kind of fine with that, considering the fact that they showed off a bevy of games, and I'll be busy up until then. Even if I'm not, I'll go play old school shit. I'll just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go and, like, I don't know, get, like, the Retron 5 and play, like, Nintendo, Super Famicom, Sega Genesis, just, you know, whatever fucking games that I really want to, and I'll be just fine up until that point. Plus, I got a back catalog that's just absolutely fucking, like, mountainous. It's just absolutely huge. But the trailer for this looks like it's coming along really well, and I can't wait to see them go and unveil more features of this, more characters, and just give us any amount, even a minuscule amount of information on it, because it looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. And considering the past couple of Legend of Zelda games have been some of the best that the series has ever offered. I mean, we had Skyward Sword, which a lot of people have laid claim to being, like, the best Legend of Zelda game that they've ever played. We had Twilight Princess, just, like, a lot of good Legend of Zelda games, and this is, you know, again, going to be one of those things. A Link Between Worlds, like, holy fuck. And it just seems like they've hit their stride, and they just know how to deliver AAA shit. And that's why I'm also fine with waiting. I know a lot of people are like, well, I want the game now. Well, I'd rather them take their good old fucking time, do not rush it, and just put out a game that's going to stand the test of time. And this looks like it's going to, so The Legend of Zelda, fuck yeah! Nintendo Amiibos. And Nintendo Amiibos is essentially boiled down to, they're going to take a bunch of the Smash Brother characters, at least for the time being, and make it so that your Nintendo Wii U and eventually your Nintendo 3DS, as soon as they get the little peripheral that you can go and attach to it, but they're going to make it so that your Wii U gamepad will be able to read these figures. And keep in mind that these have data, so they receive data and send data. And I thought it was interesting that they constantly can be updated and all the information on it can be rewritten. So you'll have like a little figure of Link, and it'll be in Smash Brothers, and this thing can kind of be like a Pokemon where you can train it and level it up and have it fight and shit. And I'm like, this shit's kind of bonkers to think about. I'm like, for real, yeah, I can level up my little figure. And it just made me think, like, over here, I got Mega Man and Proto Man who are hanging out. Proto Man, unfortunately, isn't in the game, but there's, you know, always crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. But having a Mega Man amiibo figure, which I would undoubtedly would want to buy, just based off of the fact that it's Mega Man. I like my figures and shit, so I'd have a Mega Man that is my own customized Mega Man. And he has his own, like, special moves and his own stats and all this other shit, and his own personalized AI depending on the battle situations that he's gotten in, that's completely different from all the other ones that are around. It's just, I gotta admit, I was kinda interested, and again, it's one of those things, it's like, well, you're a full-grown ass man, what the fuck do you want to do with any of this shit? It's like, that's kind of cool. Like, this made me think of, like, Toy Story type shit. I'm like, yeah, I got my entire shelf of them, and they're all fucking badass in there, and it's all cool and stuff, and they look real neat. Then I go to bed, and then they're just, like, beating the ever-living shit out of each other, just fucking cracking heads and shit. And it's not, like, as brutal as something like Mortal Kombat, but still, and man, I just started thinking about, what about all the other assist trophies? What kind of shit are they going to have in the future if something like this succeeds? Is there going to be alternate, different versions of them with, like, different outfits and shit? And it's like, just so much damn stuff to think about. Also hoping that there's going to be a Bayonetta one as well. I mean, fuck it, a man can dream, can't he? And, you know, with all the other characters that they started announcing, then they showed off that, yeah, you can use your own personalized Mii on there, and I think it'd be cool if there'd be a way that we could make our own Mii amiibo. That's kind of hard to say. That sentence doesn't even sound correct whatsoever. It's like, structurally, that shit has no foundation to it whatsoever, but I gotta admit, kinda like this idea, but I know damn well this is just like, go on, take your wallet out, just empty it. I have no money inside my wallet, by the way, but you'd be emptying out your fucking wallet, and it's like, take all my money, Nintendo. I'll take all this shit and go. But hey, there's one thing that's at least kind of nice about this. Even if you decide that you weren't going to use these things whatso fucking ever, you at least will have something that looks kind of nice just aesthetically inside of any kind of game room or living room or whatever fucking area you decide to keep these in. So they're at least nice for display purposes, but now you're actually getting stuff out of it. And in a way, this could also be used as like physical, tangible, downloadable content now, which in a way would be kind of interesting, because I kept on harkening back to the days of the e-reader. And I still think that I like the idea of what they were doing with some of the stuff. It's just that now you need to have all the e-reader cards and stuff like that to be able to do that. I'm still wondering why the fuck they want to take like Super Mario Brothers 3 and Super Mario World and all the other shit that they added all the extras to Super Mario Brothers 2 and make that into its own game, make that downloadable with like all the stuff intact on it. Just kind of tossing it out there. Or maybe they'll reapply that to nowadays with it. So it's like, you got all that shit on the eShop. Okay, you can go and buy like this little pack of stuff from Super Mario Brothers 2, and then when you use that, then you get all this stuff. It's just a thought. And they said that there was some other stuff that it'd be used for. Mario Kart 8 was one of the things. Mario Party 10. They list off some other shit. And I imagine that anything that's like first party and any third parties that they're working directly with, I can totally see them actually going and investing wholeheartedly into it. But with this, I'm kind of just like, okay, well, what all exactly are you going to be planning with these individual games? How's it going to work? Like with Mario Kart ones, are we going to get new kart racers? Or are we going to get new tracks? Exactly how's this going to change up anything? So they said, stay tuned! So all I can do is just make random guesses at everything. But either way, I have to admit, it's got my interest, to say the least. I know plenty of people will be like, fuck this shit, you can suck a dick, don't give a fuck about Skylanders, don't give a fuck about Disney Xfinity, and just the same motherfucking thing so it can suck a big fat hog. And I'm not gonna even argue that, I can understand that, but yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I give a fuck, and I don't know if I'm alone on that entire thing, but just saying, kind of interested. I had to do an update on Twitter whenever I had seen this announcement, because it was something that I had literally asked to have happen, and then it did, and I'm just like, because most things I ask for just don't fucking happen, so it's just really unfortunate. Just rub that fucking goddamn genie lamp and not a goddamn thing comes on, and it's just like, motherfucker, that was elbow grease, fucker. But Bayonetta 2 will actually come bundled with Bayonetta 1. And it's not like a limited edition or collector's edition or some shit like that, or it's gonna cost extra. It's just the regular ass copy has the first Bayonetta, so you're getting 2 games for the price of 1, and the other game that's being attached to this is hands down, from last gen, one of the best action games that I had played. Plain and fucking simple. Like, Bayonetta's the shit, that's all there is to it. But the idea that now we got Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, and they had announced, oh yeah, she'll be able to dress up like Samus, and dress up like Link, and dress up like Princess Peach. Though, admittedly, when she's dressed up like Princess Peach, some shit is wrong. I don't know what the fuck it is, man, but I looked at it, I'm like, something about that just doesn't look like... Her legs, for instance, it doesn't look right. It just... I don't know. It looked weird and scary and just... I don't know. It just... didn't fucking look right, man. I'm sure fucking Mario was in there, like, stroking his fucking green warp pipe and stuff, but I'm saying, it just... There's something just did not work well with that. But when she was dressed up like Link, that looked okay. As a matter of fact, it looked kind of cool because it looked like she was pulling off some of Link's moves, and it looked like Skyward Sword style Link. So I was just like, oh, that's fucking awesome. And I'm kind of wondering, because they showed her with Samus's outfit on, and, you know, she's got the suit on, shit. I'm wondering, like, will she be able to turn into, like, a morph ball? Is she going to have, like, a bunch of stuff from Metroid Prime games and stuff? And it's like, am I going to go run around, collect missiles and shit? Like, is this what's going to happen? Because if so, that makes me pretty goddamn happy. If they actually invest that much time and effort into alternate costumes to change up the dynamics of the actual gameplay, that's amazing! That's what I want to see, but all the game, like, all that shit aside, all the gameplay footage that I've seen for Bayonetta 2 has been jaw-dropping. Like, it looks so refined, so amazing, and I can't wait to get my hands on it, because I've played through the original Bayonetta several times now, both on PS3 and 360, as a matter of fact, and I love the game a whole bunch, considering I'm a die-hard, like, you know, traditional Devil May Cry fan, and love that series a whole bunch. Naturally, I want to go and check out Bayonetta, and I love that just as much, you know, is like Devil May Cry 3. Like, I really put it on par with it. It's just amazing. So this I cannot wait for, and the fact that's coming bundled with Part 1, I might even play through it again just for shits and giggles. I'm like, I'm now playing it on Nintendo Wii U. But I think that's pretty cool, and it made a lot of sense because, I mean, bringing out a sequel to a series that people may not have been able to play the original, because Nintendo Wii didn't get Bayonetta 1. So this kind of makes sense to go have it bundled together, and they actually did that, so, you know, fuck yeah for that, and, you know, they worked out everything just fine, so I can't wait for Bayonetta 2, it's gonna be fucking awesome. And not have to, like, do some kind of wink and then have, like, my hair cover up my naked body. Okay, no, maybe I shouldn't do that. Doesn't matter, I'm gonna play the game. Did not see this shit coming whatsoever. From miles away, did not see this little pink puffball rolling in with a sequel to a game on Nintendo DS, which was one of the earlier games that I got on Nintendo DS, Kirby's Canvas Curse, which was an awesome fucking game, and people are kind of like, I don't really like it because it's not a traditional little platforming game, but I thought it was cool as fuck, just going and drawing all these little rainbow lines, and that's how you dictate where he's gonna go and what direction he's gonna run in, and, you know, it's all about this level design. You have to draw real intricate areas to go, and just, you have to play it to understand. It's a fun-ass game, and considering you got a Wii U tablet controller with this big-ass fucking touchscreen, it makes sense. So now we have Kirby's Rainbow Curse on Nintendo Wii U. And I was looking at this shit, I'm like, dude, that is awesome. It made me happy that they want to go and invest in an idea, which it makes sense at the end of the day, because, I mean, you already had the foundation for all this shit set up. Why not just, you know, put it onto a bigger platform? So that's essentially what they're doing right now. Except for it's rolling with, like, a claymation art style, and I was sitting there talking with the fellas on Hey Bit Podcast about this, and it looks amazing. Like, again, it's one of those things where it's got this real nice art style that's going to end up standing the test of time, which I like that kind of stuff. And we ended up bringing up, one of the games I brought up that had, like, a claymation art style is the game Skull Monkeys on PS1. And also there's Clay Fighter, but I always think of Skull Monkeys for some reason whenever I look at an art style like that. But this is going with something like that, and it looks neat. Like, it looks like it's just... It looks like a legitimate, like, Tim Burton little fucking claymation film and stuff, except for, you know, much cuter, much happier and stuff, and naturally it's Kirby. But just seeing that, I want to get my hands on it and just go with the actual tablet, because I think it'd be a lot easier. I mean, before, I was doing real well on a screen, you know, on my DS Lite whenever I first got it, but on something I can sit there and just go like that, I'm like, fuck yeah, that'd be way cooler. And be a hell of a lot easier, too. But the fact that we're going to be getting more into something like that makes me a lot happier. And now, since they're going to be porting Nintendo DS games onto there, does that mean that we might get that ported onto the Wii U eShop? Like, are we gonna see something like that? That'd be kind of neat. Like, pre-order now and you get that for free. That'd be fucking badass. Like, nobody could deny that something like that would be rad as shit, because it would be. So, yeah, just fucking toss it out there, Nintendo. Maybe take that idea and fucking run with it. Touchdown! We got a whole bunch of money! The internet was just, like, buzzing like a motherfucker as soon as we had seen, like, early screenshots of this. But the entire Mario Maker stage creator, like, that shit, I was dying to know. I'm like, please be real. The idea of something like that, it just amazed me, considering the fact that if people are all about creation now. You figure with things like Little Big Planet and Minecraft, that blows up on the fucking scene, and then you have, like, all the ROM hack communities out there that have been tinkering around and fucking with Super Mario Brothers games for years and years and years. Like, Super Mario and Sonic, those are, like, the two big things people will fuck with. Now you have something legitimate, and it looks like it's kind of in-depth. And considering that you can go from 8-bit all the way to new Super Mario Brothers styles, like both of them, you can go and mess around with. I was just like, that's kind of cool. And they showed off the different ways that you can go and mess with it, like the turtle shell was bouncing off of a spring and going over to different platforms and knocking out different enemies. And then all the piranha plants, like, it was just killing them as it went along so you could jump down to the area and keep moving along the path. And I'm like, I want to try this so much. And it looked like they had interesting little power-ups. Like, the one was like this skinny-ass mushroom, and Mario, like, it made him bigger, but he was just, like, kind of skinnier. I'm not talking, like, skinny as in Paper Mario skinny, where he's just literally, like, a 2D flat shape whenever he turns. But it was just like, I wonder what kind of power-ups that they're going to be offering through this. I mean, with New Super Mario Brothers, and then with this, there's a bevy of power-ups that they could be offering. I mean, I would like it if they offered everything up to Super Mario Bros. 3 at least, just hoping, crossing fingers, crossing nuts, and then all of a sudden sitting funny. I'm hoping to fuck that something like that actually happens, because that shit right there is bad as fuck. I don't give a damn. And the fact that it's on Wii U will make it a hell of a lot easier to go and showcase, you know, oh man, we're gonna put all these stages out there for people to go and download and play and stuff. And apparently I think it's only people on your friends list. That was the only thing that made me kind of concerned, because I'm like, damn, what if somebody makes a real badass Super Mario Brothers stage, and I want to go and play that, so I won't be able to get it from them. I'm hoping that they fix something like that, or just make it so that there's an area where stages are uploaded, similar to how Little Big Planet does stuff like that. So that's something I'm still wondering how exactly they're going to go about it, but either way, this is something that I'm excited about, because I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I thought it was cool just the idea of being able to make your own stuff. That's why I always thought RPG Maker was like one of the coolest things I've ever fucked with. Fighter Maker, on the other hand, kind of sucked ass, but RPG Maker is the shit. I'm not talking about the one on PS1. Fuck all that noise. I'm talking about the one on PC. That one's the shit. But with something like this, anything that allows like in-depth creation of any sort, like I like character creation, but level creation, yeah, that's fucking sweet. And Tony Hawk 2, I always tinkered around with the level editor on this. This is going like all over the place. And they also had like a little nod to the Mario Paint series. Like I had seen one little flies going around, and then the swatter came in and was like, and it made me wonder, I'm like, what's going on with that? Like, are you planning some more extra shit that you're not telling us, or is this just like a goofy little extra you tossed in for the fuck of it? Either way, and then it made me wonder, I'm like, what all music do you have access to? And then I could foresee something like this definitely like having downloadable content, but if they don't abuse the shit out of it, which I could see them being smart with it, if they're really smart with it, I would love to see them do something like the Legend of Zelda, character creation pack, or they could, have a deal with Capcom, but like, yeah, we'll throw in Mega Man stuff, and I'd just be like, oh my god, I'm dying and going to heaven, literally. Oh wait, shit, in heaven they don't actually have fucking electricity and the Nintendo Wii U's for me able to play this, so I died prematurely and won't be able to fucking enjoy this, so fuck, that kind of sucks, a whole bunch of assholes. But the idea of something like this being available to them potentially is amazing in itself, especially if they go and toss this out to, like, okay, Konami, you can go and have it. Now we can create our own Castlevania stages. And, in the same exact style as regular-ass Castlevania, all the way up into potentially Super Castlevania to Turbo Graphics Castlevania, maybe, type thing. Just saying. But the idea of this makes me pretty damn happy. I'm excited for it, and it's something, like, I want to get on day one and just start messing around with all the different level editors and stuff. And I maybe want to go and play a whole bunch too. Just seeing the ones that they create, I'm like, I would try that out. And legitimately, I would, because it just looked really neat. So, yeah, Mario Maker, you make me pretty happy. Oh, wahoo! Oh, wahoo! And other bad fucking impressions stuff. So on Twitch, I'm sitting there watching Nintendo in all their fucking glory play through Hyrule Warriors, and this game, the more that I watch it, the more I want to play it. Like, I want to play it a whole bunch to begin with, because I've been playing Dynasty Warriors ever since Dynasty Warriors 2 and 3. I didn't really get into the original because it was a fighting game and it was kind of fucking meh at best, but Dynasty Warriors 2 and 3 on PlayStation 2, I loved the shit out of those and became a fan ever since. It's just mindless slaughter, just shitloads of fucking complete idiots coming after you, and you're just like, 1,000, 2,000, and it's just like waves of enemies being thrown all over the fucking place, and Lu Bu coming down from the moon and just fucking being like a meteor, destroying shit everywhere. I also had said on Twitter, I'm like, I want to see Lu Bu and Ganon riding on Godzilla as a boss battle, and I do want to see some shit like that. And Batman shows up, and it's just like, you were all fucking doomed. And it's like, yeah, kinda doomed. Admittedly, that's like the Justice League of like really awesome pop culture and shit. But watching this, so it was Princess Zelda running around with Midna, At least in one of the parts that I was watching, I'm thinking of. And there's this great big dragon. It's flying around in the air, and each one of them has to use their individual abilities to be able to bring down this dragon and start fucking the living shit out of it right in its face with all sorts of attacks and stuff. Maximum damage, maximum drive, maximum force. Good movie, or maximum overdrive. Sorry, ha 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 ha. But something like this, it's actually working in their favor because this is like one of the most refined Dynasty Warriors style games that they've made. So we've seen regular Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, the whole entire Gundam crossover, and then there's been other random things here and there, like Mystic Heroes comes to mind and some other random shit, but this, because Nintendo's overseeing it, it looks like they've definitely like got their shit in gear, and because it's got the Legend of Zelda name tacked onto it, it looks off the wall fucking awesome. And just seeing all the gameplay, I mean, it was fast and frantic all over the place, but the boss battles, you know, you're using the terrain to your advantage and using the individual abilities and switching off between people, and it worked out really well just watching this. And it was kind of funny because the guys on Twitch that were playing, the one dude was like, yeah, I'm getting into this, and then got his ass fucking handed to him, just, bitch! And everybody in the comments section was like, fucking noob, you lost, just making fun of him. I legitimately kind of felt bad for the guy. I'm like, man, you guys are giving him a hard fucking time, but you know, you're gonna get heckled if you get fucked up, so it's bound to happen. Regardless though, just watching it was interesting, and I really liked it. And Hyrule Warriors, naturally, is something, you like Legend of Zelda? Fuck yeah. You want a whole bunch of mindless action in the Legend of Zelda universe just fucking up shit a la Dynasty Warriors? Then you should be investing in this idea. And if you've never played Dynasty Warriors at all, then, yeah, you should probably get on that, because those games are awesome. Yeah. Thumbs up. See, that means, like, it's good. Another nice random surprise that ended up harking back to the multiplayer days of Conker's Bad Fur Day was Splatoon. Nintendo's like, okay, everybody likes shooting games. Fuck it. Here you go, here's a shooting game. A third-person shooting game that you run around and you're just like shooting your load all over everything. And everybody just kept on making tons of jokes that you're shooting loads and then there's tentacle porn and stuff. And they were like, it's like a hentai multiplayer deathmatch game. Though, granted, there's no actual penetration, so you don't have to worry about the little pixelated boxes coming up and stuff just over the certain little bits here and there. But this game looks like it's a shitload of fun. Like, my first impression of it, I didn't give a fuck. And that was really the truth. I'm just like, okay, well, it just looks like a little multiplayer shooting game. I've seen tons of stuff like that. I mean, Nintendo Land has shit like that, so why the fuck am I going to be invested in it? That actually looks kind of fun. I'm watching this shit on Twitch, and I'm just like, okay, and there's, like, every single person has, like, a certain color of paint or whatever the fuck you want to go and Splatoon random shit that they're shooting all over the place. And you're able to, like, jump down into it to go and avoid getting hit at all, and it allows you to also go under random things and obstacles and stuff. I'm like, well, that's kind of interesting. You're just literally, like, painting up the town, fucking up your enemies all while in the process. Legitimately, it just looked fun. Like, it looked like chaotic fun, and considering that it's just different. And that's one of the things, like, I also had started thinking about the paintball mode on GoldenEye, whenever you're running around going and doing that. I know that there's actual paintball first-person shooter. That game's fucking garbage, Joe. I'm talking garbage. Like, it's fucking trash. Don't go anywhere near it. Just safely assume if you go near it that it's going to suck out your guts and you're gonna be hollow inside. So naturally, don't fuck about with it. Pretend it's the fucking puzzle box from Hellraiser and it's about to be open if you just, like, even bop your nose into it. So bop it, twist it, pull it, and whatever things that they also say. Who has ADD? That fucker right there. But Splatoon was just, it was a random thing nobody knew about. They go and show it off, and it's one of those things that I'm glad that people are just picking up something to have fun instead of, it has to be like super serious, modern warfare shooter, oh my god. Because it's like, look, we've got fucking tons of those. I mean, heaps of the same fucking goddamn gray and brown shooters all over the fucking place. Can we just have something like this? Is that asking for too much? It might be for some people, but we kind of needed it. So, yeah, Splatoon, admittedly, yeah, I'm gonna fucking play it. I'm gonna play it like motherfucker. I'll play the shit out of it. Yeah, the shit out of it. Alright, let's get one thing out of the way. We need a Super Smash Brothers anime. Stat. Like, right the fuck now, we need it. After them showing that off, 9 times out of 10, I was just sitting there with fucking goosebumps on my arm. I'm just like, oh my god, this is so awesome. Can we please, just anything. Nintendo, you're sitting on a mountain of awesome, just with that anime alone. Like, all the fight scenes look bad as fuck, the animation looked bad as fuck, the art style looked bad as fuck, and just seeing, like, Link and Pit, for example, just clobbering living shit out of each other, I was just like, oh my god, this is awesome. Like, I felt like my pants were drenched just from all that jism. I'm like, I need this in my life. Like, I currently feel like I have an incomplete life, because I got fucking blue-balled like a motherfucker, because I was just like, here's an appetizer and shit. I'm just like, ugh, like, god damn! But Smash Brothers, on to Smash Brothers, just saying, make this anime happen. Like, you're a goddamn fool if you don't. Seriously, make that shit happen. So, they announced three more characters for Super Smash Brothers. So, we have Goddess Palutena, from the Kid Icarus series, and she looks bad as fuck, and she looked awesome in the anime cutscenes and shit. We got Pac-Man, which I'm not all that surprised, because, you know, Namco and Nintendo have been working together and stuff, so Pac-Man's gonna be up in this bitch. I'm definitely expecting Inky, Blinky, Inky, Blinky, and I can't remember the other 2 ghost names. Shit. Well, somebody else can put it down in the comments, that'd be most appreciated, but I imagine the ghost will be there in some point, or they might actually have something from Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. Maybe they'll incorporate shit like that, I don't know. By the way, those games actually aren't that bad. I don't know why they got such, like, kind of crappy reviews. They're actually kind of fun, but I haven't seen the show. But anyway, so we got Pac-Man as well, and you could also use Nintendo Mii characters, which... Then I started thinking about this. I'm like, wait, I can put Nintendo Mii characters in it. So AlphaOmegaSin now joins the fray within Super Smash Brothers, because, you know, I got myself as a Mii. But I've made tons of characters in Super Smash Brothers. I made Gordon Freeman from Half-Life games. I mean, why the fuck not? Minus Crowbar. Makes me kind of unhappy, but you know, what the fuck can you do? I've made Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th games. That right there made me happy. I made Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I'm like, that's bad as shit. I've also made actual Nintendo characters and stuff, but, you know, just saying. Now I'm like, I can have so many people. I could put Duke Nukem into Smash Brothers, which is really fucking funny, because they'd be like, you wanna dance? Shake it, baby. And then all of a sudden, Wii Fit Trainer and Peach and fucking Samus are just like, I'm just like, that's what the fuck is up. And naturally, you know, everybody's just fucking like shaking their shit everywhere, and it's just like, making it rain, making it rain, making it. But and this is just something, it's got to happen at some point. Somebody out there has definitely made some fucked up fanfic, but it'll probably be poorly written, and it'll have like all sorts of typos and grammatical errors out the ass. But the idea is the fact that would be amusing as shit, and you can put me's like that into it. So it's kind of funny, kind of amusing to think about, but I like the idea that we're getting that many characters for it, but I gotta go back to this anime thing, like, for real. Please, like, PLZ, Nintendo, make this anime happen. Like, every time I've seen anime adapted from a random video game, like Bayonetta anime, the Persona 3, Persona 4 anime, Disgaea, Devil May Cry, I'm just like, this shit's all so awesome, can we please have more? And Link, again, was being fucking silent throughout the entire anime, minus, like, the grunts and ha unless he saw, like, an entire field of pots to go and break, then he'd be like, and just absolute fucking coming everywhere. No, but I'm saying, this anime, god damn, this has got to happen. Like, make this its own thing at any random point. Just a full-length entire thing. I mean, we have tons of animes out there, like One Piece and Bleach and Naruto and Dragon Ball and Yu Yu Hakusho, that are all about big-time fucking fights. And they focus on this shit all the time. Super Smash Brothers could do that, and it'd be just fine. I mean, we have Street Fighter and Fatal Fury type ones, so, you know, you could do some shit like this. Just saying, make it happen, that'd be awesome. So, please, thanks, and love from AlphaOmegaSin. we already knew what X was. It had to do with Xenoblade Chronicles. Everybody kind of saw that coming from a million miles away. Though I was also kind of thinking about, I'm like, Xenogears? Maybe? I mean, that got that whole X thing going on. Could it be? Could it be? Could it? Maybe. But watching all this shit online, watching a live stream of them play through the beginning of the game, and naturally, it's all in fucking Moon language. Also, thanks, GameSack. You have me saying Moon language all the fucking time when I think, anytime that I see, like, Japanese pop up on the screen. Anyhow, so, watching this, and they go through the character creation, they go through the entire opening cinematics, which has, like, an entire armada just appear out of fucking blue, and then it's just raining hell down on everything. They're just like, we're so ultra fucked! And they were ultra fucked, but then you get your ass down onto the planet, you get to go through the character creation, and you get to see all the different options that they have available to you from the beginning, which I'm kind of wondering, will they end up giving you more? I don't know if that'll happen down the line, or if you can edit it, you know, like later on throughout the game. Don't know if they'll provide options like that, but you got to do that, and then they kind of just whisked you off into the world, and they're like, alright, go do your thing. And naturally it ends up looking a lot like Xenoblade as far as like the shit that you're picking up and interacting with. You know, you can see the levels of the enemies and stuff, and you're going up and you're just like fucking up anything that you see, you know, with a partner in tow with you. And, you know, getting stronger as you go along, and there's big ass monsters and robots and mechs and all sorts of shit, and it makes a gamer like me very happy to see that. So Xenoblade Chronicles X, which it sounds very serious business whenever you say it that way, X. Or you can think it's a Mountain Dew commercial and be like, extreme, and everybody's doing like super duper front flips and playing Call of Duty attacks game. God, that's still so fucking stupid. I'm telling you it is, but this game looks bad as shit. I got to talk about it quite a while back, but this will be my way of being able to talk about it again. And every time I got to see like new gameplay footage of it, I was like, even more excited about it. And then again, see a live gameplay demonstration of it, you know, in front of everybody was really cool. Granted, I would like to have seen it whenever it was translated. I'm hoping that they end up getting like a little bit better voice work on it. I'm just saying, just kind of tossing it out there, but I like the fact that Nintendo is investing into this as like an actual franchise, and it makes a lot of sense because the original Xenoblade was really cool, but if there is something that you're going to end up doing like an HD remaster of, which I know that they're kind of doing stuff like that, maybe do like a re-release of Xenoblade Chronicles, because that shit sold out. It just makes sense. So maybe do that whenever you release this game, or bundle it up like you did with Bayonetta. Like, if you do that, people will jump on that shit without even fucking thinking. Trust me on that. If you do it, it'll make people happy all over the world. Make that shit everywhere. I'm talking Japan, PAL regions, here in the fucking States and Canada and stuff. Make it happen, Captain. It'd be awesome as shit. But either way, Xenoblade Chronicles X, you look awesome as shit. Motherfuckers were worried that this became vaporware, because we haven't heard a single thing uttered about it. But remember the Yoshi game that they had shit off, and everybody was like, oh my god, it's like Yoshi's Epic Yarn type thing, because it looks like Yoshi's Story and Kirby's Epic Yarn just decided to go and bump uglies and go and have this really awesome baby. Gotta give me some fucking credit. I'm at least kind of good at doing impressions. But seeing it look really cool, so it's Yoshi's Woolly World. And, you know, silly fucking name aside, but it kind of makes sense considering the art style that they're going with this. Is going to be an optional co-op game, which that made me really happy. And I actually liked Yoshi's Story, and I like Kirby's Epic Yarn, so I think this is something I'll work out just fine. But the downside is it's not coming out until 2015. But the fact that it is coming out makes me really happy, because ever since they showed it off, like back whenever they were first showcasing the Wii U, we had seen screenshots, then that was it. It wasn't anything. And I was like, hey Nintendo, what about that? And they're just like, about what? And they just walked the fuck away. It's like, for real? We want to know about Yoshi. Yoshi's fucking awesome. Yoshi! Yoshi's fucking cool as shit. I mean, you gotta give Yoshi a lot of credit. Yoshi put up with Baby Mario, who essentially was the most annoying little fucking kid and could not help himself at all. And had one of the most annoying sounds ever in the name of gaming. Holy fucking hell. But Yoshi deserves all the credit that Yoshi could ever get. I mean, granted, we should have been able to ride around on Yoshi in Super Mario 64, just saying, but, you know, fuck you, doesn't matter. Now, we're coming up to 2015 where we'll be able to take control of Yoshi again in his own little adventure, and I cannot wait for it, so I'm glad to see it. So, Yoshi's Woolly World, I will play you next year. Seriously though, Nintendo just fucking owned this year, and it made me happy because I just wanted a lot of games. Like last year, it was alright, but this year, I'm like, that was a fucking home run. Kudos to you for that. You can be a Nintendo hater, but you can fucking admit, like, yeah, that was a pretty good showing. Because it was just games left and right, just fucking dropping bombs everywhere and making everybody happy. You know, Devil's Third. Who the fuck saw that shit coming? An exclusive Nintendo Wii U? I was just like, damn, I didn't think that the game was actually coming out because it had been so long since, like, last time I had heard that game being mentioned, and all of a sudden, yeah, you're gonna go and have that here. Oh, here's a whole bunch of new Smash Brothers characters, by the way. It's like, what? Oh, and by the way, a Star Fox game is gonna be coming out. It's like, no, like, yeah, I'm checking out Legend of Zelda. It's like, dude, it was so much to take in. Like, that's what she said, by the way. Haha, zinger! Oh, man, we just turned that into a fucking spare tire. But honestly, this year was a good fucking year, and the people that win at the end of it are gamers. You know, people like, oh, fucking Nintendo fan. It's like, shouldn't you just be happy that there's more games to play, more kick-ass, more fun games to play? Shut the fuck up with all that shit and just play a fucking video game and be happy. All this fucking, like, trying to argue and fucking fanboy shit. It's like a fucking fat dick. Pick up a controller for any goddamn system, pick up your fucking keyboard and mouse for a PC, pick up a hand, I don't give a fuck, just play some goddamn games, and these ones look bad as fuck, and this year's E3 was pretty fucking gnarly if you ask me, especially on the Nintendo front. Anyway, this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers. Game the fuck on. And seriously, Nintendo, you were missing two things this year, Fatal Frame and F-Zero. That shit better be at Tokyo Game Show, or else.